Good morning. Hello, hello. Fanny is also here. Fanny. She wants nothing so badly as she wants to be. I don't know why. She's such a, you want to be an influencer, Fanny? Is that your objective? You want to be a YouTuber? Girly. All right, you can go in your box or you can go down. Those are always your choices. I'm going to put you in your box. Sorry, guys. All right. Ugh. All right, if you don't stay, you can stay in that box or you can get down, but you can't come get in my space. All right. She just loves it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what, there's something about it. All right. So these are my lovely security blanket little pink slippers. Just a simple silhouette, easy peasy. We're gonna write muses and then they will be done. I think I have these little pink half pearls that would be perfect for my little seam right there. But I think all my pearls are still packed up with the Mermaid Bathtub Workshop supplies. So I'm gonna dig around and see if I find something that works for that. And if I don't, I will figure something else out. Well, I'm gonna look for the pink pearls, and if I don't find that, I'll find something. The nice thing about working with these beautiful little chiffon flowers is they've got a couple of different, so I could put a pearl, I could put something silver, I could put a little kind of crystal AB, or not AB, probably want flat crystal. Anyway. Oh, now she's mad. Fanny cannot fathom that I don't want her right in my spot, showing her all her loveliness to y'all. Poor thing. All right, is this my especial, my pink especial? I think I mixed up my lids. That's okay, that happens. I think this is my pink especial because, oh no, who are you? This is my pink especial. I don't know who you are. This looks like rosé that I mixed a little. That also looks like a pink especial to me. I'm gonna marry the ketchups. And if that was a mistake, so be it. I think probably I started 2 pink especial jars. That's okay, plenty more pink base coats to do plenty more pink shoes. Okay, so these are done, fully glittered, except they need their lettering. So let's go ahead and get to it. I am feeling wonderful because I had 2 very excellent workshops yesterday and everybody had like such good energy and I had a really great time. So I'm feeling my cup is very full, so I'm gonna see if I can get some glittering done. Okay, so I've got this. Do I have a toothpick? It's not wise to be doing lettering without a toothpick, but okay, she works. So I've got a full, all right. Let me match, I try whenever possible to match the paint color to the glitter color. So let me, I have some silver here, so let me use that. Oh, I made a bad choice. Okay, so let's try again. Whew. This is the real deal, guys. This is kind of how it goes. Okay, I stuck the tube in there at a bad angle, and my punishment was that all the paint came kind of shooting out. I'm trying to use this big weird bottle. This one came like a little bit, the shape of the bottle was a little bit wrong. The nozzle was a little strange, but I am unsinkable. Okay, we are gonna have to call that because if I try to fiddle with that any longer, I don't even know what's gonna happen. All right, so I've got my needle tip bottle. Before I start writing, I check it. Looks good. I'm ready to write directly on. One second. I'm noticing that I have a spot where the trim isn't sitting quite right. This was sort of an unusual shape, so there are some spots where the seams are a little bit wacky. So let me shore those up before I get too far down this path. But I do want to show y'all my beautiful thermometer is looking so good. And I'm very excited because once I finish these security blankets, I'll be my first boot. I'll show you in a second. The whole reason I did the thermometer was because it was a funny idea, and I can't resist a funny idea. Commitment to the bit. Just fixing my trim. Sometimes you miss a few spots, and that's fine. All right, so once my 4 security blanket girls are done. So this is, and it'll be flipped because it's YouTube, so my apologies. These are my shoe thermometers, pair of boots, and they're ticked off in sets of 3 because that way I know that because I'm doing 60, me and my sister. So I'm doing 60. So, and I have the printouts on my Patreon, and I have a printout for 30 because most muses I think are shooting for 30. And if you're shooting for more, just print more. But I am shooting for 30, and so I broke it down into sets of 3. So every time I finish 3 shoes, I know that's 10% of the way to 30 or 5% of the way to 60. But look, guys, that first boot is looking pretty, the temperature is pretty hot on that first boot. So once I finish these, I'll fill it up to 27, and then we'll be just 3 shoes away from halfway there. We should do something special when we get halfway there. That would be fun. I don't know what, but it'd be fun to do something once we're halfway there. All right, my dongle. Okay. Enough chit chat. I say like it isn't just all chit chat all the time. Do. And I'm going to letter these silver to match the silver trim, which I picked to match the kind of silver setting in the center of my little my little chiffon flowers, muses. And then I'm going to put the 2027, I'm just going to put a little 27 down here. Just a 2, boop, and a 7. Easy peasy. Little 27 down there. It's hard to see because I did it little and because the silver paint is a little dark. Boop. Boop. All right. I don't want to shake her too hard, but y'all see my little 27 down here? She is done when she's dried, and I put a dot, a little something on her seam, and then I put her in the bag. We love it. We love to see it. This is DEA badge silver, which is my favorite silver. It's a nice, bright, beautiful, like sterling silver. And it's just my favorite. Before you letter, you want to make sure your base is well brushed off. And of course, you could absolutely use a transfer here. And if you're a little bit new to the game, or even a lot, new to the game. I hear the cardinal in my fig tree. I love birds, but I don't love sharing my figs. And there's been a little lady cardinal just... and I hear her. All right, muses. And then I think I have enough room to put the 2027 down here, so I'm going to. Little. Yeah, I like that. Beautiful. And that's what we call done. She's a beautiful shoe. Beautiful shoe. She isn't every single bell and whistle. She isn't, 900 hours of rhinestoning and ombre and, she isn't all the tricks up my sleeve in one shoe, but she is lovely. And I will be pleased to throw her. Ooh, and someone will be very happy. Okay. My DEA badge silver. And this, I need to remember to set aside the piece of paper that I did the little test squiggle on. Because if I don't do that, I smush stuff. And that's a bummer. All right, so what I'm going to do now, So now I'm going to, I have some, oh my goodness. I'm a mess, y'all. I was like, I need to remember to throw away the stuff so I don't smudge it. And then I reached past my little trash bag and smudged myself anyway. Killing it. All right, so what I want to do, let me brush her out so I can use her to mix in. But a little bit of, all right. This was my other Pink Especial jar because I think I somehow had 2 of them going. I'm going to cap her so that she doesn't dry out. Important to cap your needle tips because otherwise they will dry out and then you can't use them, and that's sad. We want to use things. Okay, so what I want to do now is I've got some fresh, clean glue, some fresh, clean Mod Podge. Are you the clean one? Okay, got some fresh, clean Mod Podge. I've got a nice fresh brush. Make sure I conditioned her well. Yep. Well, all right. Be like that. This is kind of an old set of brushes, but all right. Good. All right. Clean brush, clean glue. I'm going to mix a little bit of some pastel pink because I have this pastel pink, which is the strawberry from a set we used to carry that had strawberry chocolate and French vanilla in it for doing ice cream cones. But I want to save the strawberry for doing my ice cream cones since I have all these ice cream cones going. So I'm going to save that, and I'm just going to mix myself a little bit of pastel pink, which last time I said I would do that. That's Ponchatoula strawberry. So I might need to grab, where are my sheer pinks? I thought I was ready to go because I thought that jar of Ponchatoula I thought was Pussyfoot and Pink, which is what I want to use. But I can grab some, probably. Now give me 1 sec. Just bear with me. Oh boy, right at the bottom of the pile, but that's okay. Okay, all right. Okie dokie, friends. Thank you for bearing with me. This is Pussyfoot and Pink, which, nice, strong, beautiful, rich, saturated pink. We are going to blend her out a little bit to make her just a little softer because I would like her to kind of match the lightness of the flowers that I'm putting on there. So, I've got some Pussyfoot and Pink in here. I'm going to add, this is Miss May's. My preference would be Southern Wedding Cake, but I don't currently have any Southern Wedding Cake on hand, so we're going to do what we do with what we got. Make some, just a softer pink. And I find I can blend any of the like semi-sheers, so Cold Enough for Pants is like a semi-sheer blue. All Axed for Yellow, Limoncello, Persimmon Puddin', Melon Ball, Hand Grenade. Those are all semi-sheers that blend up pretty nicely with Miss May's or Southern Wedding Cake or Spirit Queen. Nice. And I don't know if y'all can see, but that's much softer. It's kind of a soft cotton candy pink. So I love that. So it's just going to make it just a little different. Just helps. I enjoy kind of mixing it up a little bit. And I have this, like, it's 2/3 of a tiny tube of Martha Stewart cotton candy, and I just want to use it up. So I will. I think I would like her to be just a smidge lighter. I just want her just a smidge softer. Pussyfoot in Pink is very like nice and juicy, so it definitely brings a lot of pigment to the party. But don't be scared to blend your glitters. I believe in you. And if you're nervous, start with a little bit and see if you like it, and then make a big whole jar. All right. And you can always use it for something. If you make something you don't love, it can go into your, if I did that pink and I was like, ooh, yuck, I don't like that, it would become my pink especial. And it would go underneath a color I actually loved. So, instead of painting these white, which I definitely could have done, instead of painting those white, I have glittered them with a coat of Pink Especial and then clean rosé colored glasses. So now I have these kind of pink girls, and what I'm going to do is layer this semi-sheer on top. It's just going to give it a little more sort of soft pastel shimmery goodness. Just a slightly different look from if I did rosé on its own. And I am going to incorporate my confetti, which I definitely still have. Don't dip your glue brush into the glitter while looking for your confetti. That's not the move. And I can see my straps are nice and strong. There's one spot where like the hot glue that I was using to reinforce that strap with a plastic cup, a strip of a plastic cup. I can see the hot glue kind of dollop is a little annoying to me, but I'm going to chill about it because I know I'm going to cover it up down the line. And that doesn't need to be a problem unless I let it be a problem. So I'm not going to. Whew. So yesterday I had transfers class in the morning, which I love doing a transfers class, kind of starting my day with that because it always makes me feel so happy. I really like teaching transfers a lot. There's a lot of good information in it, and it's like, not to toot my own horn, but like I like how I have that one organized, and I just really love that class. And the students seem to get a lot out of it, which is my goal always, is to empower crafters. All right, so Fairy Tale, where have you gone? Where's my fairy tale? Little sprinkle. Little crystal sprinkle all over. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, starting to go a little too hard on the confetti. That's one of my great challenges in my glitter life, is keeping it, oh, pretty. It's really a pretty, like, soft pink. That's fun. And it's going to look a little pale because the white of the glue is making it look lighter than it actually is. As that glue dries and goes from white to clear, the pink will deepen a little bit because you'll be seeing more of the rosé underneath. But very fun thing to play with, layering a semi-sheer on top of a coat of an opaque. Just something to mess around with if you're feeling like keeping yourself entertained. And we all feel like that from time to time. So, alrighty. That is very pretty, and I like that a lot. And it's going to get even more sort of deep of a pink as it dries. Did I miss any spots? No, she's good. All right, so pretty light pink. Love that. And I could have put just white on top of this. I could have put Miss May's or Magic White or Spirit Queen or Queen of Diamonds. I could have put any of those on top of the pink and gotten a sheer pink, but I did want it to have a little bit of the pink kind of juiciness from the coat of glitter that I put on top of it. So now we can set her aside and let her dry, and hopefully I can come back and show y'all, but you can see kind of what you'll see when it dries. Don't judge it until it dries. It's very pretty right now, but it's going to be an interesting kind of pink once she dries. All right. Second verse, same as the first. We do it again on the little mate to this shoe. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Just assessing what's where to kind of plan out what I'm going to do after this. Because there's lots to do, which is fabulous. We love that. I'm really feeling optimistic about a productive July, about getting a lot of shoes done in July. And I'll be at, when these little pink security blankets dry, or are done, this one, these still, the semi-shears still have a little longer down the path. When these dry, I'll be at 27. And so I'm very close to halfway there. So I think getting halfway there in July, especially if we celebrate it somehow, I need to decide what that's going to look like. But that would be fun to do a little something. We're close to halfway, and I think that's going to really motivate me to I think that's going to power me through. I think that will be good. Alrighty. Just some little pretty pink posies. And yeah, I would encourage y'all to play around with what a semi-sheer looks like over white versus over opaque. Different like combinations of confettis, different blends and stuff. Lots to play with. Glitter is really the depth of experimentation you can explore with glitter. I personally find extremely satisfying. Like there isn't just one way to do it, you know. There's so much to, and there are plenty of things where it's like that's not my cup of tea, but I'm happy that people are experimenting, you know. Aesthetics, it's a little bit science and a little bit art. So there are like technical proficiencies you can acquire, like, oh, I've learned how to do this technique and I've learned this like method. I think that's very cool. But at the end of the day, it's also like, what do you like to look at? And what you like to look like is different from what anyone else likes to look at. Sometimes I'll make a shoe and I'll be like, I'm not sure about that one. And I'll post it and people will be like, this is my favorite shoe that you've ever done. It's like, all right, well, everybody has got, you just never know what's going to be someone's favorite. It's not like, it's not a quantitative thing. It's not like, oh, this shoe, you know, this one's a 9 and this one's a 10. It's very subjective, and I love that. You bring a lot of your heart to it in that way. All right. She looks beautiful. We're going to let her dry. That's all she needs is to dry. Okay. And then, like the others, we'll trim her, and then we'll do the bottom and the heel. And so once this is dry, we can trim it. We can put the flowers on. We'll do the soft pink flowers that I have a bunch of. And then we'll have two pink security blankets done and 2 more really closing in on the finish line, which is awesome. Beautiful. And I think those will be dried out enough that I can kind of show you what it looks like towards the end of the video. Okay. She is a pastel pink blend. Label your stuff. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so while I've got the pink out, I'm going to work on her. Oh, that's what I needed to do, was to get the waffle texture out, because I need to start working on my waffle cone. So this one, I was finishing it up, or I was at least kind of closing in on a finish line on her. She was kind of getting to the place where she had some details, but mostly their broad strokes were done. And I realized I didn't like the silhouette of just one scoop, so I'm going to put a scoop on top of her. And then she'll be done. I don't know what color I'm going to put on top. Maybe like French vanilla, because it's kind of pink and yellow, and I don't necessarily want to get another color in there and like fight it too hard. I really like to do like a pistachio, I think is pretty. I use green thumb for that. I'm gripping that like a weapon. I really like to use pistachio to make like that kind of, use green thumb to make that sort of pistachio color. I think that's really cute. I especially love to do a gold cone, a gold cone with a scoop of pistachio and a scoop of like a lavender. Both because that is purple, green, and gold, and because my favorite ice cream at Creole Creamery is the lavender, and my favorite ice cream at Bricata's is the pistachio. So when I make myself I do a little purple, green, and gold, but also it's kind of like I'm making the ice cream cone of my dreams. So I love that. I'm gripping this so weird. Okay. Like I'm gonna just smack someone with it, which I promise I'm not. All right, what I think would actually be kind of fun, since I've got two pinks here and mixed, is if I kind of make this like a strawberry swirl. So I'm gonna do little splotches, kind of like I'm doing a galaxy technique almost, of my strawberry, and then I'm gonna fill in with my pink blend. Actually, let me do it like this. Oh, I like it. But I'm realizing the pink is a little darker, so probably I want that's fun. That's pretty subtle. The colors are pretty close to each other. But, you know, a little extra fun. Just a little kind of swirl of strawberry in the strawberry ice cream. I don't know if y'all can see because of the lighting, but just, it's fun. I've also seen the like, Bluebell, like Mardi Gras ice cream done, and I love that. All right, so what I'm also gonna do here, so what I've got here is some fake cake made out of a kitchen sponge. I've done some fake frosting here. Love that. I am going to, and some fake birthday candles, and these are fake frosting roses. What I am going to do, and it is going to take me a minute, so y'all bear with me, is I'm going to give everything, the frosting, the cake, the roses, I'm going to give everything white glitter to make it all look sparkly and sugary and perfect. And I will tell y'all, the sponge, it's going to shock no one. The sponge definitely sucks up glue. Gosh, I wonder why. I was thinking this has such a wide layer of cream. I think it'd be cool to put some strawberries in there, like some sliced strawberries. I got to think about that, but I think that would be really pretty. All right, so I'm doing the candles. I'm doing and I'm just putting a semi-sheer. I'm putting basically a cheek glitter on top of everything, so that I still see the pink and white frosting and the yellow of the cake, but the whole thing is gonna look more sugary, more edible, more, you know, cute. And we might add, I think we're gonna add some strawberries to her. I think we're gonna put some sliced strawberries in there. And I think that's gonna look really pretty. So I'm glad y'all are, I know we did not start this one together. You guys okay? Good. So yeah, I might build out a little bit more kind of fancy frosting on her. I might stick some strawberries. Oh, it'd be pretty to do her as like a chantilly cake, to do some strawberries and blueberries up top. I hope that wouldn't disrupt the color scheme. Maybe one of these, maybe this other one can be a chantilly. Maybe she'll just be pink and white and yellow, and I'll do a different one as a chantilly. All right. So I did warn y'all this might take me a minute, and take me a minute indeed it is. I got to touch up the bottom a little bit. That is often the way. The bottom is often a spot where it picks up. Okay. Takes a little while to get it every which way and to get it even, you know? That's kind of the hard part. That's the challenge. Okay. So she is, you probably can't tell because the glue is clear, but she's gotten a little bit of glue all over. Oh, I need a clean cup. Clean cup. Miss Maze. And I need to be careful not to touch this strawberry scoop up here. I can do it if I'm careful. Okay. Here we go. And again, the glue is going to look white for a while. So it's hard to, you're gonna think you've lost some of that tinting and texturing. It'll come back as the glue dries. All right, I can see some spots I missed, which isn't the best, but also isn't the worst. Normally I don't do wet glue over wet glue, but I'm gonna be so careful. And also, I think if I have any spots where I accidentally glop it a bit, it'll just look like melty candles. So I'm gonna forgive myself this once. I'm going to bend the rules a little. You know, rules are helpful, but you don't want to get too tied to them. Okay, good, looking good. Looking sugary, pretty. Oh, it would be pretty to, I'm like, oh, maybe the cake should be confetti cake. I should put some confetti dots in there. My friend Jamie does the most beautiful, like, confetti cake, glittered cake. But maybe I could try. Okay. Cake looks good. Frosting looks good. Roses look good. Candles look pretty good. And anywhere they need a touch up, I'll give it to them later. And I'm going to be a little naughty and just carefully layer in a little bit more wet glue here in the back where I missed it. I think this one was a demo. Oh, I'm like sweating. I think this was a demo that I did for, I think I offered this as a class. So, beauty. Isn't she a pretty girl? Sparkly cake. She's sparkly all around. And we'll let her dry. We'll see who needs touch-ups. We'll build the second scoop on top of her, probably just French vanilla with like some rainbow sprinkles. Maybe we'll add some strawberries to her filling. Maybe. She could use a little color. I just need to decide what. I can definitely add some sprinkles to the top of the cake. And I usually on one of these will write happy birthday, because I tend to look for the birthday signs. She is cute, though. That's a cute slice of cake. All right, we're going to let her dry. Easy peasy. All right, so the other girls are not quite as far along in their glitter journey. So what do we have to do on these? Let me... Oof. That is so bad. I was not careful, and this is... The cup is really, that's okay, because what I'm going to do is when I put the snowball in there, and I am going to put a snowball in there, right? She's going to get a snowball. I'm going to put a snowball in there. What I will do is I will make a drip of the snowball melting right there to cover my seam. And then nobody needs to worry about anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim her down a little bit. I'm going to close everything because it's messy, unfortunately. So I'm going to just scooch some stuff out of the way for the moment. So that I don't, you know, make too big of a mess. And then I'm going to start to kind of cut this foam ball. I'm making her less round and more pointed. More kind of cone-ish, you know, because the snowball isn't a big round. And you know, whenever you're doing any shaping, you want to take your time with it, because you can always take more off, but you can't put more on. I mean, I guess you could, but all right. Let's see where we're at. Starting to look more cone-ish. Boop-a-doo. Get in the shape, get in the shape. And be very careful with your scissors. It really helps to make sure that the foam is within the cup, you know? When you place that foam ball, a little bit of the roundness kind of hangs over the edge of the cup, and then it doesn't really look right. And you know, if it's not perfectly symmetrical, that's okay, because like, a good snowball stand is sort of trucking through them. They aren't going to sit there. I know they just stick the cone on there, but if it's a little uneven, I don't think they're going to stress too much over it. I feel good about that. I like her. She is shapely. She is shapely, and of course I shaped her before, so 2 shapely girls ready to become, I don't know, what should we do? Maybe rainbow? The rainbow snowball is such a like icon. But what we're gonna do right now is start the process of, I would like to, one second. I would like to spill some stuff. I would like to have the option of doing as much white on these as I want. So like, I might do the cup as a jazz cup with the purple and teal squiggle. I might do it, no, in the style of the jazz cup. You know, I'm not gonna like, I think that's protected and trademarked and stuff. So I'm just going to evoke it. Okay. Nice. Better. Okay, so what I would like to do is kind of start the process of getting these to a place where I can paint them white. So first step is going to be giving everybody a coat of Invisible Jet, which is right here. Invisible Jet is just my favorite first step for getting a shoe white, white, white. So that's what I'm going to do. I have anything that requires, am I doing anything semi-sheer today? Let me go ahead and put some white glitter on her. I'm still not 100% on this like rainbow cake I attempted, but I'm just gonna keep putting stuff on her until I'm in love with her. That is kind of a crafting approach. She has a little glitter on her, but I want her to be really sugary. And I think it'll tone down the brightness and make it look more pastel, and that'll give me more versatility with my options. Because I think the more pastel it looks like, the more desserty it looks. And this one obviously still needs a bunch of stuff on top. She needs all her decorations on top. So I will probably make some like frosting leaves and stuff. But my piping looks good. What I've done so far, I'm pleased with my piping. I can't wait to show y'all the new fake frosting we have at the shop. I love glitter snow, especially for like king cakes and stuff. But we got this new like pipe, you know, you can pipe it, clay cream, and it's so fun. Always new things to explore. Okay. All right. So before I did the Invisible Jet, I wanted to make sure I did anything that required clean glue, which requires clean glue. But yeah, I think if I make that more pastel and do more detailing, I'm gonna vibe a little bit more with the color scheme. And I'll put a lot more decor on her because you really can't have too much on a birthday cake shoe. All right, looking good. Fabulous. I'm gonna hang her up so that perfect. All right, now we're gonna do the Invisible Jet. We're gonna do some Invisible Jet. Okay, you are set. You need Invisible Jet. And then maybe I'll grab the, and I find I do okay just putting the glitter directly onto the cup. If you find that your glitter is peeling, you can do a little sandpaper rub, a little acetone, whatever works for you. All right. Going a little too fast there. I can see my brush strokes are a little gloppy. Don't do the bottom. Rookie mistake to pick it up and glitter the bottom. But I was autopiloting. Okay. Invisible jet over everybody. All over. And it's hard to see. It doesn't look like it did anything yet. But when I put the white paint on, the invisible jet really does its thing. And so I was getting some questions about priming. There is a video on priming your throws white on the Craft Culture YouTube. And I know it's confusing that like I have a YouTube and the Craft Culture YouTube, but they are kind of separate. Craft Culture is a little bit more formal. My stuff is a little bit more kind of whatever I feel like working on. Okay, you smooth that out. Okay. All right. All right, and if we missed any spots, we'll get them next time. So it doesn't look like I've done anything. Y'all have to trust me. That's the invisible part of the invisible jet. Very powerful, but hard to see it in motion. Okay, so I don't have the cone in her yet. So invisible jet, invisible jet we go. I think I did not put enough Aleene's in. Oh, I would like to reinforce that. I'm realizing that that's a little soft. So I'm going to do the invisible jet coat, but I am going to, when it dries, put a little piece of plastic in there because I don't like that squish. And I'm going to find some Aleene's. Making my to-do list as I go. Yeah, I find this year, I can usually get away with using Mod Podge without the Aleene's. With the Aleene's is better. But this year I'm finding I need to add the Aleene's to the Podge to really be happy with the viscosity of the glue. Okay, invisible jet over everyone. And we'll let it dry, and then we'll do a little structural, and then we'll paint. Easy peasy. Looking good. Okay. Again, you can't really see it, but trust me, it's there. Okay, we're doing good. She looks good. Do I want to do her cone or do I want to do her invisible jet? Let me grab the cone texture. All right. So, at Craft Culture, we sell this. It makes the waffle cone on the cone. So this is a cake cone, but I'm going to put waffle texture around it for funsies. I think it'll just look more kind of iconic. Because I think cake cones on the top piece sometimes have the texturing with a band in the middle. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That looks good. But this is how I make the waffle texture on my waffle cones. And I'm going to put a little bit on the cake cone as well. Those are my ice cream options. And you, I'm going to, ooh, I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back for you. So I think what I want to do here is like waffle texture, strip in the middle, waffle texture. So let's see if I like that. Let me see if this will look the way I want it to look. Or if I just want to do waffle all over. Yeah, I'll just do waffle all over because that's simpler. Oh, thank you all for bearing with me. If the Shoe Marathon lives this year are doing nothing else, I hope it conveys how much I'm making it up as I go along. And that is okay. You don't have to have a plan to make something cool. Experience helps, a plan helps, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Right, do I want the texture on the cake cone? I feel like I need to Google a cake cone. Am I imagining that there's texture on a cake cone? Or is it just smooth? I'm trying to imagine what it will look like with glitter on it. Maybe we just glitter it. I'm looking at the cake cone texture and it's not bad, but it also doesn't, I don't put it on there and say, oh my God, yeah, now it looks right. I think maybe a cake cone doesn't need it. And I know this isn't fully shaped out, so let's do the cone. Let's get started on that. You are already reinforced, beautiful. Let's just get started. Let's see how the cake cone looks just glittered with Snickerdoodle. Let's just start there. And we can always make changes. Nothing wrong with that. And I just want to see how it looks, all of it done in Snickerdoodle. That, I think, is going to tell me things. That is going to share some secrets, some wisdom. Because it can, when you're doing structural stuff, it can be extremely difficult to close your eyes and picture what it's going to look like glittered. So sometimes the only way to see what it's going to look like glittered is to see what it looks like glittered. And this is going to be one of those times. Alrighty. So many spider webs from the making the cone, making the scoop. Okay, good coat of, come here. A little brush. Snickerdoodle. Baked with Love also works, but I'm switching over to Snickerdoodle. Oh, yeah. Maybe she doesn't even need any texturing. I'm going to also, though, look at some cake cones and see what it is I'm picturing. But I think she looks really cute. She still needs the scoop done, but she's looking good. I'm liking that. We're looking good. That's looking good. Okay. Yep, I think the cake cone doesn't really need anything. I do need to finish like shaping the scoop and everything, but I think she's looking cute. And she'll get another coat of Snickerdoodle, of course, and some details and stuff. And I'm gonna look at cake cones for a little while to kind of figure out what it is I'm looking for. I'm gonna hang her like this so that the whole cone can dry. And then I'm gonna come back in and do this in Invisible Jet, and I'll do some more work on her. All right, she's good. Who's next? You are gonna get Invisible Jet all over. I started doing her in rosé, but I think I want her pastel. I think I want the whole thing to be, and I'm gonna cover that with ice cream. And I'm gonna put cake down here. Maybe this one will be my chantilly cake. That would probably be a good choice. But for now, she's gonna get Invisible Jet so that I can paint her white so that I can put pastel colors on her. Because that, I think, is the vibe. And then I'm gonna get some sponge, build the yellow cake and chantilly. And I think that's gonna be the move. I think that's where we're headed. I think that's the next step on her journey. Get the glue relatively even. Looking good. All right. Doesn't look like much yet. Oh, looks like I missed the toe. Gentle, gentle. Whew. Gentle, gentle. Okay. I'm gonna put cake over her so it's not too big a deal, but gotta be careful. All right. So she's gonna dry. Gonna hang her up. Looking good. Okay, that's probably a good amount for today. There is still stuff we can do, but how are these looking? I'm brushing softly in case they aren't quite dry, but they feel good. Sometimes you go to brush them and you can feel it when you brush that there's still some stickiness there. Yeah. I would say they're like 80% dry, so I probably should give them a little more time, but I wanted to show y'all what that pastel pink looks like over the rosé. She's close to done, and then I'll do the rest. But hopefully y'all can see they look a little different than our other girls. Just, it's good to mix it up. It's good to do things a little different to keep you entertained and to experiment and to learn things. Experiments are a great way to teach ourselves things. Let me put the pastel. But those are looking good. So yeah, some pretty good work on our sweet treats. We're at an hour, so I'll probably call it there. I found my 1mm hex, so I could start putting the red on the strawberries. I could start working on berries. But I feel like this was a good amount today. This feels good, productive. I'm feeling good about where we are, and we'll keep on keeping on. So yeah, those girls need to dry, but then they're good. And then our girls that we lettered are, of course, drying, so we're going to let those, whoops, we're going to let those dry, but otherwise we're trucking along. We're doing pretty good. These are probably ready to trim. Do I want to trim them? Nah, I'll save it for next time. That's fine. It's okay to save things for next time because there's always going to be a next time. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. I hope everybody's feeling good. June is almost done, but we're doing great. We are trucking along. I feel really great about a nice, productive July, and I will see you guys very soon. So thank you so much for joining me, and looking forward to seeing what everyone is glittering and hearing what people are working on. Thanks, y'all.